The core message of 2026: you are not here to fix yourself. You are here to become aware of yourself. And awareness dissolves what effort never could. Message 1. The hourglass. Time is no longer your enemy, it is your teacher. 2026 marks a psychological shift in how humans experience time. Most people live in what neuroscience calls predictive processing. The brain constantly replays the past to anticipate the future. Trauma, scarcity, and fear wire the nervous system to live in later or before, rarely in now. This keeps the brain in chronic stress, activating the amygdala and suppressing the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for wisdom, long-term planning, and emotional regulation. The hourglass reveals that in 2026 time becomes a mirror. Whatever you avoid will feel faster. Whatever you face will slow down. This is not mystical, it is biological. When you stop resisting reality, the nervous system exits survival mode and enters coherence. Heart rate variability increases, cortisol decreases, and perception literally changes. You experience time as spacious instead of threatening. Jung would call this the beginning of individuation, the moment when the psyche stops running from itself and begins integrating. The shadow no longer steals your future because you are no longer dissociating from the present. Biblically, this aligns with, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Not yesterday, not someday. The nervous system only heals in the present moment. 2026 teaches this truth. The life you want does not exist in the future. It only exists in the depth of your attention right now. Time stops being something you chase and becomes something you inhabit. Freedom begins when your body feels safe enough to stay. If this resonated with you, please like, share with a friend who this might help, and subscribe to our YouTube to help us continue to put out videos just like this one. Message 2. The ship in the storm. You are being rewired through uncertainty. The storm is not punishment, it is reprogramming. From a neuroscience perspective, uncertainty is the strongest driver of neuroplasticity. The brain only rewires when predictions fail. Comfort preserves identity. Chaos transforms it. In 2026, many will feel disoriented, as if old plans no longer work. Careers, relationships, beliefs, and self-images dissolve. Jung called this the dark night of the ego, when the persona collapses and the deeper self begins to emerge. Psychologically, this is terrifying because the ego equates control with safety. But biologically, growth only happens when the nervous system learns to regulate itself inside unpredictability. This strengthens the vagus nerve, increases emotional resilience, and restores agency. Biblically, this mirrors the story of Peter walking on water. He only sinks when he becomes conscious of the storm. The lesson is not about faith as belief, it is about regulation. When attention locks onto fear, the body collapses. When attention remains grounded, the impossible becomes functional. 26 brings this message: you are not meant to avoid storms. You are meant to become someone who is no longer governed by them. The ship does not need calm seas, it needs a stable captain. If this resonated with you, please like, share with a friend who this might help, and subscribe to our YouTube to help us continue to put out videos just like this one. Message 3. The Phoenix. Your identity must die for your nervous system to heal. The phoenix represents a psychological death, not a physical one. Trauma is stored not just as memory, but as identity. The brain builds a self-concept around pain. I am anxious. I am abandoned. I am struggling. These become neural loops reinforced through repetition. Over time, the nervous system confuses survival strategies with personality. Jung called this ego identification with the shadow. The wound becomes the self. 2026 marks a mass release of this pattern, not through affirmations, but through integration. When the prefrontal cortex learns to witness emotions, instead of being possessed by them, the old identity collapses. This feels like loss. In reality, it is liberation. Neuroscience shows that emotional processing rewires memory networks in the hippocampus. The story changes. The body updates. You are no longer reacting from who you were. Biblically, unless a grain of wheat falls and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much fruit. This is not metaphor, it is neurobiology. The old neural network must deactivate for a new one to stabilize. The Phoenix teaches that you do not rise by becoming better, you rise by becoming truer. If this resonated with you, please like, share with a friend who this might help, and subscribe to our YouTube to help us continue to put out videos just like this one. Message 4. The eye in the triangle. Consciousness is becoming your primary tool. The eye represents awareness, The triangle represents integration of mind, body, and spirit. 2026 is about one skill above all, self-observation. The ability to notice thoughts without becoming them, emotions without drowning in them, desires without being controlled by them. This activates the medial prefrontal cortex, which downregulates the amygdala. In simple terms, awareness literally calms fear at the biological level. Jung described this as the shift from unconscious living to conscious participation in one's psyche. Most suffering is not caused by events, it is caused by unconscious reactions to them. Biblically, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Not by changing circumstances, not by escaping pain, by changing perception. 2026 reveals this universal truth. Reality does not shape consciousness. Consciousness shapes reality. The moment you can observe your inner world, you are no longer imprisoned by it. That is real power, not control, not dominance, awareness. If this resonated with you, please like, share with a friend who this might help, and subscribe to our YouTube to help us continue to put out videos just like this one.